listening to Pop This, the podcast where three women talk about pop culture. Here are your hosts, Lisa Christiansen, Andrea Gin, and Andrea Warner.
So I'm curious what you think. Should I register for this going away party? I've somehow made myself onto a list for Beth Hayward and family. It'd be fun if she was listening to this or someone knew her.
Hey, Beth.
It looks like she's having a going away party, and I've been invited to drop by and say farewell before her and the family leave for Nova Scotia. And so it's coming up. It'll be June the 10th at 6 p.m. And, it's
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
If this is a secret party and you've just literally just spilled the beans on our podcast and Beth happens to listen and find out that June the 10th is her surprise going away party for the family.
Well, what it made me think of was I saw Seth, give me his last name. I keep forgetting. Late night Seth.
Myers,
yes. Seth Meyers was doing a bit on how there was this guy who did the exact same thing. He ended up on somebody's stag party invitation.
Uh-huh.
And it was because his name was the same as another one. But they figured out their mistake and they wrote back to him and they went, sorry about that. And he went, nope, I'm coming. And they were like, you're coming? But it's like a destination stag party. You don't even know anyone. He goes, no problem. And he puts a GoFundMe up for it. And he's
Good Lord.
Fund me to go to this stag party of a group of people I don't even know. And he got $20,000 or some ridiculous number to go.
Uh-huh.
And he actually went. And the people were, they were like, okay, you're coming. We're going to pick you up at the airport. Can you send us a picture? And he sends in a picture of himself as a 10-year-old doing karate.
Jesus, this guy.
So who doesn't love this guy now, right? I mean, he's everyone's best friend.
I guess. Is he everyone's best friend now? Because
I don't know. It could turn out poorly. I mean, it's
this
quite
is a certain
possible.
kind of energy that I don't love.
So you have absolutely no clue how you got on this list and got this invitation.
None at all. It's interesting because it's a whole bunch of actual names. You know how usually you can't see all the names of the people that have been invited?
Yep.
But I do not know Beth and family, so no.
I'm on a couple of these things, and it's the Engaging Women's Club somewhere in I don't know, some town in Virginia or something. I reported as spam every single time because I'm terrible. But for 3 years, I've been getting invited to their monthly meetups and their various salons.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's just nonstop. And so I don't like it. But my friend Trish, her Gmail address, I guess, is really similar to a sort of struggling actor. And so Trish, for years, has been getting these really random scripts in her email that are meant for this other actor. And Trish has done the thing where she's communicated with this other person and been like, hey, I'm getting a lot of your stuff and whatever. And so Trish is good about stuff like that. But one of the scripts she read was I remember us going through it and it was a little bit softcore. And wow, wow, this is, you know what? An actor's life is just a series of interesting page turns, and I just wow.
So did she take the role?
I don't know. We never Trish didn't. My Trish didn't.
Yeah.
But the other person, I can't remember if it's Trish or Tish or I don't know. There's some mistake, but yeah, there's always some weird mistake, and that's why for the longest time I thought that my email is a very simple Gmail email, and I thought that if you had a dot between a first and a last name, it meant that somebody else had that email. But no, it's all you. So I don't know who they think that they're always emailing that's not me. Like maybe there's an Andrea Warner or something, or maybe there's like a, I don't know, or maybe like an Andrea Warn with an E or something, and they add an extra R. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know who these engaging women are.
But this does segue really very nicely into our topic. Our film of choice today. Do you see this? This is quite possibly, it is my story is the beginnings of a meet cute for a rom-com, for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah.
But like realistically, how feasible is it to attend a wedding that you're not invited to? Just theoretically, like, would you ever attempt to do that?
Yeah, like
they made a whole movie called Wedding Crashers out of that premise.
Yeah,
but I mean for real people.
Oh, for real people. I bet it's actually like if it's a big enough wedding, I bet like no questions asked, you could easily crash a wedding.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could.
Yeah,
but I don't know if you would.
Would I?
Yeah, would you?
On a dare,
would either
I would.
Of you?
If you were like, if there was some really big wedding and you knew about it, and you said to me, "I dare you to go to this wedding," I would do it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like I think I would if it was a big enough wedding. I wouldn't. I like weddings. It would be kind of fun.
I love weddings,
and I feel like, it would be like fairly easy. Like, and there's always people who don't show up, so I think it would have to be a big enough wedding though.
And you would just like take a seat at the table, have dinner, talk to people.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't faze me that much at all. Like it would be kind of just fun and people just want to talk about themselves, really. They don't actually want to ask you many questions ultimately. And so it'd be pretty easy to like negotiate that space. And the only problem for me personally is that like I do not have like an invisible body shape. Like even though like a lot of fat people are rendered invisible because people just don't want to see us, there's still the thing when you're in a room full of people where the majority of everyone else is likely thin, you do stand out to a certain extent. So like there's a lack of invisibility there. So like I'd have to try and be pretty selective to find like a decent fat representation wedding part. Like I'd have
a lot to think about. There's a lot to
think about. Yeah.
I'd have to think about how the fact is I usually go to a wedding, get drunk and make a scene. So I'd have to like choose. I'd have to choose a wedding where there'd be a lot of people with the same problem. I don't know if you call it a problem or if you call it something really fun for everybody, because everyone wants to leave a wedding with a story, something beyond the bride looked beautiful, the groom was handsome, the chicken was delicious. I mean, you want something more, right?
Yeah, you want to hear the story about the woman in the really beautiful loafers who started a death metal sing-along.
You know, that's going to be memorable.
See, I would never bother crashing a wedding I wasn't invited to. That would be my biggest nightmare. Just like, how, like, you're just there. What are you doing? You don't know these people. Do you have to talk to random strangers?
It's
like,
why? It's a game.
Why are you doing this? I didn't feel so bad about being there.
But would you feel bad about being there for like a giant wedding where they've already got like 500 people and like what's another person?
And it's a buffet.
But I mean, I guess it would depend on how hungry I was and what the food was like. But the social aspect of it is such a nightmare to me.
You don't know everyone at a wedding anyway. I mean, there's going to be a ton of strangers when you go to a wedding.
But you have to dress nicely, presumably.
But you're always dressed nicely.
Yeah.
And you have to like, I don't know. It's just like a lot of, it's asking a lot for questionable, like, what are you gaining from this experience?
Okay, I've got the scenario. Let's see if you could do this scenario. It's the summer. And you're staying in a nice hotel for a weekend on vacation. You come down the elevator and you see this wedding in full swing. Like it is post dinner, the reception's on, everyone's dancing. Would you just slide yourself in there and start dancing and have a drink?
No, never. Okay. Absolutely not. Absolutely. I'd feel so like because the thing is like if someone like the bride or the groom came up to you and they're like, "Who are you?" I would not be able to like lie my way out of that or make up a story or thing.
I don't think you would lie. I think you just say, "Hey, I'm just a guest at the hotel and this looked like a fun party."
Yeah. And the champagne was offered to me and I just thought, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never do that. Never.
One time at a hotel, I crashed a barbershop competition. Not to compete, but just I came back to the hotel. We were in Portland and we had been out for the evening or whatever. And we'd seen the competition earlier that day, heard about it. And then when we got back to the hotel, I could hear all the singing happening. And so I was like, I got to follow the songs. And poor Carlos, like dragging along behind me. And it was end of night. So the competition part was over, but they were having like, in Pitch Perfect where they have like the a cappella off. It was actually that was happening with the barbershop quartets that had remained behind to like celebrate and like party, but they were all sort of spread out in like their own sort of corners of the room. And we just sauntered in and sat down and listened to them all sing for like the longest time. And I've since always wanted to do a story on the intricacies of barbershop quartet competition.
I think
because
it
was some wild groups in there, I gotta say.
But I'll tell you, I was a guest at a wedding. My friend was a teacher. One of his fellow teachers was getting married, and I was his date, and I knew nobody at this wedding. I didn't even know the bride and groom, never met them. I was just as uncomfortable and awkward as if I had crashed it. I mean, the whole thing, right? I mean, I'm sitting at a table with 8 strangers. The bride and groom come by the table to ask how we're doing, and I'm just like, great, how are you? I had nothing to offer. I mean, except for good luck, beautiful wedding. Thanks for whatever this place setting cost me or cost you. I don't know, but I've enjoyed it. So I don't see any problem with crashing a wedding at all.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's like a problem with it. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it.
So you're not going to be in on our scam then that we were going to ask you to get involved
you wait till the 3 of us go away for a weekend. We're staying at a random hotel. Happens to be a 1,000 person wedding in a ballroom. And what do you know? We brought our dresses.
Yay!
We're going to go have a little hangout.
What are the odds that it could just be the set of a J-Lo movie? I mean, that's pretty good.
Honestly, pretty good at this point.
Yeah, at this
I would
point,
not be surprised if I crashed a wedding and found out that it was actually a film and that I was then just part of the background crew and scene. Because, it's possible.
It's very
J-Lo's
possible.
industrial wedding complex film industry is an incredible source of, honestly, employment.
Yes.
And production in Hollywood.
They've got it going on. She's figured something out, and I'm in always.
I'm Andrea Warner.
I'm Lisa Christiansen.
I'm Andrea Gin.
And you're listening to Pop This. And we're doing another J-Lo movie.
Another J-Lo wedding movie.
Another J-Lo wedding movie.
Soon.
So soon. And yet, at the same time, I feel like we really held back not doing it in January and saving it to kick off wedding month. Our annual tradition that always goes sideways on several levels because the movies are sometimes extremely good and other times extremely terrible.
And sometimes
honestly,
just really mediocre.
Just supremely mediocre.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're a big old, just, a light stubbing of the toe and a shrug of the shoulders.
Mm-hmm. There's 2 hours of my life I won't get back, but I wasn't doing anything anyway. And yet, Shotgun Wedding is the newest J-Lo rom-com. It is, we're already behind because she also recently released The Mother.
I'm not behind. Speak for yourself.
You saw it already?
Oh, yeah.
You saw it?
I was going to say, in the last calendar year, we've seen Marry Me, J-Lo Halftime, Shotgun Wedding. We did Geely
for
fun.
Yes.
Yep.
And I saw The Mother
You did see The Mother.
my own, by my own choice.
Amazing. Okay.
And so, yeah, that's like 5 Jennifer Lopez movies in the last calendar year. I am up to date.
Incredible.
You are. I am impressed.
I probably won't watch The Mother until we do it for the podcast because I just assume we will do it at some point.
Well, can I just say that one of the more humorous reviews I read of Shotgun Wedding was for J-Lo completists only. And I thought, oh, that's what I am now.
Yeah, absolutely. Our whole podcast is.
Yeah. That's our whole podcast is.
I know. In my mind, I'm already like, this, in the first, 10 minutes of watching Shotgun Wedding, I already put it ahead of Marry Me.
Oh,
in terms
me too.
of J-Lo movies.
Yeah. Well,
Me
if we're going to
too.
compare
Yeah.
J-Lo movies, yes.
Yeah, no, truly. Within the first 10 minutes, I was like, I think I had already at least smiled twice, if not laughed once out loud. But I was shocked. Carlos was like, yeah, I don't think it's better than Marry Me. And I was like,
What?
I'm sorry. Did you watch the
What?
same movie? Like, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Owen Wilson. I do. He makes me laugh all the time. But there was no chemistry, and her and Josh have a lot of chemistry.
I mean, thankfully, like,
Yes.
honestly, just I mean, I also still think Josh was a bit miscast in this, but whatever, that's fine. Let's get to it. Let's get into it. Lisa, do you want to read the background?
I sure do. Shotgun Wedding is a 2022 American romantic action comedy film directed by Jason Moore and written by Mark Hammer. It stars Jennifer Lopez, Josh Duhamel, Sonia Braga, Jennifer Coolidge, Lenny Kravitz, and Cheech Marin. It is a pretty good cast. After being filmed from February to April of 2021 in Boston and the Dominican Republic, Shotgun Wedding was released in Singapore on December 8th. Why is that in here?
Singapore?
Yeah, why are
I
we?
know. Wild.
Is that where we're headed to debut in Singapore?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I guess Singapore gets things first.
Yeah, December 28th, 2022, and was released on January 27th, 2023 by Amazon Studios via Prime Video, which is how we all watched it.
That is. AG, you want to read the synopsis?
Sure. In Shotgun Wedding, Darcy, played by Jennifer Lopez, and Tom, played by Josh Duhamel, gathered their lovable but very opinionated families for the ultimate destination wedding, just as the couple begin to get cold feet. And if that wasn't enough of a threat to the celebration, suddenly everyone's lives are now in danger when the entire party is taken hostage. Till Death Do Us Part takes on a whole new meaning in this hilarious, adrenaline-fueled adventure as Darcy and Tom must save their loved ones if they don't kill each other first. And that's from Rotten Tomatoes.
And I gotta say, like, I think this movie's a little bit too long, but I actually really appreciated the conflict between Darcy and Tom. And when she says to him, "You haven't listened to a thing I wanted since I said yes," I was like, you know what? This is believable to me. This is a believable conflict. His being mad at her that she didn't tell him until that, like, about her hesitation until they're on the island is a little harder to swallow. They're not equal things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
You know what? I found the only thing that I was questioning sort of like off the top was the casting a little bit, because like Jennifer Coolidge as Josh Duhamel's mother just seemed like...
Did the numbers work out? I didn't think they would either.
She's only 9 years older than him.
Yeah,
FYI.
okay. All right, that's what I thought, yeah.
She was so he was not part of the cast originally. The original casting of Tom was Armie Hammer.
Oh.
And then after all of the accusations and scandal that he has had, and he's rich enough that he could just sort of disappear into his own private island, which is a different story altogether. They cast Josh instead. And he's like, I think about 10 years older than Armie Hammer. And I think Darcy was supposed to, like, Jennifer Lopez is not playing 50. I think she's playing like 40-ish in this movie, and was supposed to be a little bit older than Armie Hammer's character. And I think so we're missing that bit of tension in the casting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
because the person playing her sister seemed a lot younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt
But then
like
her parents felt quite a bit older. Like Sonia Braga.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah,
like just like all over the place. The person playing her sister, I liked her. What's Callie Hernandez. I felt like they were going for like, we want to cast someone who's like Aubrey Plaza, but not that expensive. And like, I still liked her, but like, I just didn't, Yeah. The only thing that was really funny to me about that actor's choices in the film was when she tried to hide behind her bangs. I laughed so hard.
Yeah, I'm going to try that.
Honestly, I love it as a strategy.
Janet from The Good Place, I always find throws me off because I love her.
I love her.
Yes, I do. And it was quite a cast, actually, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean,
the cast is good.
Once you sort of decide not to try to figure out all the strange age discrepancies of all the characters and how they're related, then you can just enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
But like in the first little part where you're trying to figure it out, it's like, this doesn't make any sense.
No, it comes at you in a lot of weird ways, and you're right, it doesn't make any sense. But like this movie is definitely another one of those things that's like you just have to surrender to like its reality. And in this reality, you can just
Jennifer Coolidge gave birth to Josh Duhamel
at 9.
At 9, and that was a tragedy. And
Lenny Kravitz was a young idealist at 45 in the Peace Corps, or what was that like?
I like, that's the thing. I love Lenny Kravitz.
Sure, who doesn't? Yeah.
So much in this. Like I'm not saying like once it's, so we're gonna spoil the crap out of this movie. But anyway, once it's like, and I kind of figured that he was actually like the one who had orchestrated the pirates. Like,
well done.
Thank you. But as soon as he has to flip the switch from like seeming good guy to like just obvious bad guy, he lost a little bit of that edge that I thought he really brought to the good guy character, which was so interesting to me. I'm like, Lenny, this is your chance to really play evil. But then I realized, no, Darcy Carden is the one who gets to be truly evil.
Yes.
And that's why he's still just like, but I was trying to figure out like, so ultimately, what is he trying to convince Jennifer Lopez's character to do or be? Like, is he trying to get her to like also be with him? Like, is he suggesting a trio of her and her stepmother and him and her father's money? Like, is it like those three are now together? Because I just didn't understand.
Well, he was supposed to, the father was supposed to wire his fortune.
The $45 million.
$45 million,
but he also is like, I have to talk to her, and I have to like convince her of whatever. Like, what is what does he need to do to like is he trying to kill her, or is he trying to like keep her alive so that he can like resume their relationship, but also add Harriet to the mix? That's what I'm trying to understand. It's like,
I don't. Again,
where is this going?
I have nothing. I have nothing for you.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
You know what? It's better to not ask these kinds of questions.
Yeah.
You're asking too much of the.
You're right.
The plot
right.
here.
I should just enjoy it.
For me, I was going in quite cold to this movie, and I thought I forgot, or I didn't know about the action part of the rom-com. So when the pirates abducted them and they all went into the pool, I was like, oh, it's sort of funny. They have a kind of Mad Max look to them. This is humorous. But then when they started getting dead, like in really brutal ways, I was like, what is this movie? This movie is unhinged.
Just full-on murders?
Murders.
Yeah.
But not just full-on murders, but more like, what did it feel like to kill a man? Like, oh.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she just tried to kill somebody. And then when they kill that woman, she just steals her boots as if it's nothing. I mean, I was a bit shocked. I thought tone-wise, this movie also was extremely complicated.
Yeah.
At one point, the pirates say about Jennifer Lopez and Josh, they're like, they said something to the effect of, these people are scary. Like the pirates felt that these two murderer people were escalating things in a egregious way with violence. The pirates.
Well, the pirates probably were scared of that meat slicer, which so was I. I thought, this can't go well. Don't start a meat slicer. What is this, a slasher film now? Like, is that where we're going? Like, I didn't know where we're going. Are we just going to chop hands off? Or, like, what's happening?
Yeah, it's such an interesting tone to try and strike. Like, gory violence with a comedy that's also a romance. And yeah. I mean, maybe it obviously kind of isn't bad a tone because we all think it's one of JLo's better movies.
I mean, nothing will ever beat Out of Sight for me, the Steven Soderbergh film. That's to me is the peak JLo movie. But
it's not a rom-com, really.
Well, her and George Clooney have a.
No, I know. And I think I think George Clooney is the only worthy leading man she's ever had. Mm-hmm. But, like, I wouldn't include it as one of the rom-coms.
No, with the Matthew McConaughey's and the Ralph Fiennes and whoever else these banal people are.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. Oh, well, I shouldn't probably say that considering she's married to him now, so... Yeah,
I mean, but on screen they're very boring.
Yes.
They only had a tiny bit of chemistry in the Geely thing. I know you guys too. I know.
Yeah.
I know. But you know, the one thing I was thinking in the first 20 minutes was just JLo really does bring so much to her characters and her role. Like, she really takes it seriously, and she's fun and she's good and she's in it and she's dynamic. And I feel like Darcy is a character that she really hasn't had a chance to play that much of in a long time. Like, Darcy gets to say and do some of the things that you kind of would have expected the Marry Me character would have had a chance to say and do. Like, she's a little bit,
but so
more contemporary.
This is going to be a little bit of a head scratcher, but because you haven't seen The Mother, but I'm telling you, like, if you there's a way that Marry Me bridges to Shotgun Wedding, and then Shotgun Wedding bridges to The Mother. Like,
I believe you.
It's a progression because she plays like a full on military operative in The Mother.
Wow.
Is it like on par with Hustlers? Are we talking that kind of, like, she could get an Academy Award nomination?
No, The Mother's terrible. It's not a good movie. I'm not saying it's a good movie.
All right.
I'm just saying that she is it's more about her kicking butt in The Mother.
Yeah.
There's no rom in it, really.
No calm either?
Not really.
Oh, not really.
I think it's just action where she's saving.
It's like a Liam Neeson, Taken kind of movie.
Yeah. I've only seen the trailer for it, but the trailer, I was just like, she's gonna punch a wolf too, isn't she?
Yeah, that kind of. It's very seriously it's basically like her Taken.
Yeah,
so she's got to get her children back or something, or like her son,
more or less. Yeah.
Well, I watched Taken, and I don't think I need to go down that road again.
No, I've watched the first one. I never need to see another one. But I really I enjoyed this more than I thought I would.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely.
I went in with very low expectations, and because Marry Me was so terrible, so I went in thinking okay. Maybe. At least people will get at least there'll be some action sequences. I was honestly swearing coming out of Jennifer Lopez's mouth. She delivers every swear so perfectly. And it really felt good.
Yeah. But this movie didn't get a lot of buzz at all.
No.
Why do you think no one saw it or no one's talking about it? Because
they dumped it in January on Prime.
I know, but why did they do that?
End of sentence.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. No,
it's not that bad. They've put way more money behind worse stuff on Prime.
You guys hated Daisy Jones more, and it was on Prime.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
But do you think like everybody, it was such like Marry Me was so disappointing. They're just like, I'm not ready for another JLo wedding movie.
I think so.
Right now.
I think so. Because like they're so close together. And like, yeah, Marry Me was trash. Like, and this, I'm not saying it's high art or anything, but like it's good trash. I'm kind of fascinated by like how this writer got his chance to make this movie. Cause like from what I read, so this guy, Mark Hamill, the writer, he's made one previous film where he wrote and executive produced the movie. It's called Two Night Stand. It's from 2014.
Sorry, that's all.
No. Miles Teller stars in it, and so does she had been a model on America's Next Top Model and then became an actor, and her name used to be Annabeth, but now it's Tio or Leo or something.
Oh boy.
She's actually not bad in a lot of things that I've seen her, and I like her, but it got like decent, reviews or whatever. The script itself before it got made was ended up on the blacklist. So Mark Hamill got like a lot of recognition. He's apparently written tons of other things, but I guess he must be ghostwriting because like none of it shows up on his IMDb. But they like the producers who were making this movie had the story idea from one of the people who was producing. He was like, he had to go to a destination wedding or something like that and thought it would be a great idea for a movie. So then they hired this Mark Hamill to develop the script, and somehow like he just gets to make this movie. And apparently he wrote the script while planning his own destination wedding in Italy and was able to channel some stuff into that. But like, this person really doesn't have a lot of experience.
Yeah, no.
And you can feel that, I think, in sort of like some of the like achier, like just muddled parts of the film.
That's kind.
Thank you.
Yes, I think that's being very kind. Yeah, when I know we have to have conflict, and I understand that, but right away when she started to have those, like she was maybe going to say to him that she didn't want to have the wedding, I'm just, no, not this again. I just don't want to go down this road again. You've got to offer up some different conflict. I don't know, a flu, yeah, like the pirate thing would have been enough. I don't think we needed the other 10, like we needed the other story.
I like having the other story, but I feel like we just needed to have it be a tiny bit more believable.
And
like,
a bit more original.
Yeah. Like he's a groomzilla. They wanted to they think that like that's sort of like a neat twist on weddings is that he's a groomzilla. There's no bridezilla here.
I mean, he did some kind of nice Pinteresty things.
Sure. But like,
the rowboat was quite cute.
But can I just say, wasn't there like a bit of an anachronism where when he gets caught by the security guard and he's fixing the boat and he's putting all those things on the boat, and then he says to the security guard, I saw it on Etsy. Like you buy things on Etsy. You see pictures on Pinterest. You see ideas on Pinterest.
Maybe they felt it was somehow more masculine to say Etsy.
Yeah. Anyway, I just felt like, nah, that doesn't wash with me. But all right. Amongst all the things in the film, that was what I focused on. Yeah, that one right there.
I see.
Yeah, not lighting a pirate's head on fire and stuff. I didn't focus on that.
Yeah, I was curious if I skipped over the mask choices as you were mentioning earlier, and the sort of Mad Maxy kind of element of it, and like why all these ornate specific head pieces.
They're a very stylish pirate crew for sure. I mean, those boots looked great on J-Lo when she put them on with her ripped up dress.
Oh, I love that. Like when you get down to the bare bones of that ripped up dress and you see the meat grinders, pull like she's just in this like beautiful sun-drenched cloud of like dress like dress tatters
and shapewear
being blown at her.
It was beautiful.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we have enough data now, having seen so many J-Lo rom-com movies, that we can like crack the formula of what would make the ideal J-Lo rom-com.
Yeah.
For instance, like, does she need a leading man, or is she better in movies where, you know, it's a story about her and she's playing off like a cast of characters, but not necessarily a romantic interest? I don't know. I'm just trying to like think of, like, she's made so many of these movies now. There just must be like some kind of formula that's like, we need to feel like the story needs to be this. We need this kind of leading man. We need this kind of conflict with somebody. We need it to be set on this kind of location. And like, there you have it.
Well, she keeps getting paired, not always, but like mostly, with these like tall blonde blahs of men. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't need to see her with another blonde blah of a man ever again. And I just think it would be so much better to like, and I don't know what it is. Like, is it that because she's like such a force, like they like these other guys just kind of like end up pale in comparison to her, like because like Clooney holds his own with her, you know. And I know it's not a rom-com, but like still, like he holds his own with her, and like I would like to see them paired back up for a rom-com. Like I think that would be great.
Because she's done like so many movies that we don't even talk about, with like leading men who are more or less like unknown. Like, I'm looking at 2010, the Backup Plan, that she started with someone named Alex O'Loughlin.
No, never heard of him.
Yeah,
things didn't go well for Alex. That's too bad.
No.
Well, and then like even Monster-in-Law people talk about, and was with
Jane Fonda, but everyone ever talks about the guy.
Michael Vartan.
Yes. Ugh, I don't like him.
See, you know, in my mind, though, if in a perfect world, but she's a little bit too young for this, sometimes in my mind, I can see her as being the Melanie Griffith part in Working Girl.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be fine. Like, I think that could be good.
And, you know, and
you think she's too young for it?
No, well, at the time when it was made.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. No, back then. Yes.
Because that's an 80s
back then,
movie.
I think she would have been a teenager.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I can see her I like her in those kinds of roles. Like, the way we felt about the movie Made in Manhattan, we didn't need Ray Fiennes at all.
Just to be her.
Yeah, just her.
We didn't need Ray Fiennes.
And we didn't need him. We just wanted to see her move up the ladder, like learning things, taking care of her kid, you know, being that working class mom that she's really good at doing, like she was in Hustlers and things like that. I think
she's so good in Hustlers.
Yeah, and I think that she can be those parts, but she keeps doing these ones, you know, and I don't, you know, I'm not her agent. Neither are you. Too,
but I think she loves love stories. Like, I think we've seen that in her life, and we've seen that play out in her choices on screen sometimes. And she talks a bit about it in the documentary. And like, I can get behind that. Like, because I think it's nice when people are like sort of unapologetically corny about love. Like, that's kind of lovely, especially when it would be, and it is so easy to be cynical. I often think that like sort of just refusing to be cynical is kind of the bolder choice. And I say that as someone who is frequently cynical, but I just want her to like have a script that is really, really, really worthy of her. I think she could do this sort of action rom-com thing again, just with a better script and a better leading man.
Yeah, like
the supporting cast. Yeah, the supporting cast could be like, I would love to, if they ever did a not that they need to do remakes, but like if they did sort of a Romancing the Stone remake.
Oh yeah.
You know, she would be good in that, I think.
Yeah, I could see something like that. Yeah.
So I feel like, she's good in a crime comedy situation, like Out of Sight. And like maybe she could pair up with George Clooney or someone not bland again. And then also, but have it set in like Europe and maybe involve some hotels.
Yeah.
As settings. And then also involve her being like a working class mother.
What if the next Ocean's 14 or Ocean's 9, depending on how you want to bridge the gap between Ocean's 8 and Ocean's wherever we're at with so like the women's Oceans and the boys club Oceans. So J-Lo helps lead the next women's Ocean, and George Clooney is her foil, and they are taking down or trying to rob like the fanciest hotels of Europe or something.
Yeah. I'd watch that. Yeah.
That would be so fun.
Yeah, pitch that.
But also she has a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, we're workshopping this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like if we take one element from every J-Lo rom-com that we love and mash them up all together, we would have like a out of the park hit movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I just like don't understand why she's still not being served. But like maybe what we need to do is go back to like, so where we saw her really like have a chance to build a character who was interesting and had depth and really like had this like, flinty spark was Hustlers.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we go back to like that filmmaker because we know that she can really direct the crap out of J-Lo and like just beg her to write something that could honor that spirit.
All right. Well, that's quite a...
That's a plan.
Yeah, that's a plan. Yeah.
It's my summer pen pal project is me just writing to that director and pleading with her to give J-Lo the rom-com vehicle she deserves or the flirty spy caper she deserves.
I like a flirty size. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea.
That'd be fun. You know what could be fun is if they do like another spy movie with Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, I
like
love
Melissa McCarthy,
that. Yeah.
Jason Statham, Jennifer Lopez, and sure, let's throw George Clooney in there. Whatever.
But apparently she was
or
in
Idris
a movie.
Elba. That'd be great. Sorry.
She was in a movie with Jason Stratham.
Stratham, yeah.
Statham.
I don't know. 2013's Parker.
Never heard of that one.
I never heard of it.
No.
American action thriller film. The film is adapted from Flashfire, the 19th Parker novel written by Donald Westlake.
Huh. Nope.
But so what are we landing at here? What is J-Lo? What is the order of J-Lo's top 3 movies?
Well, wait, top 3 rom-coms only?
Yeah, sure. Let's do rom-coms. I'm going to have to say Made in Manhattan.
Over the Wedding Planner?
Then The Wedding Planner. And then Shotgun Wedding.
Wow.
Well, what do you say, Lisa?
I'm similar. Do we not? I guess we don't call Out of Sight a rom-com, do we? Even though it's funny and there's romance. You're right. Okay. I'm going to go with, I think I liked The Wedding Planner a little bit more than I liked, why are these all weddings? That's so weird. I liked The Wedding Planner, then Made in Manhattan, and then maybe the Shotgun Wedding. Yeah.
So I have included it here, but now I'm thinking about it and I don't know. So I want you two to decide. Shall We Dance? Can that be included as a rom-com or no? It's the one with Diane Lane and Richard Gere.
Oh, well, but she's not really...
Yeah,
She's not the
she's not the main
romantic
star.
lead.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. No.
No,
we cannot.
don't include that.
Okay. So I hated The Wedding Planner from what I remember.
Yeah,
with
you
everything
did.
in me. So I can't even believe that I'm going to say this, but I guess my top 3 of this list of what I've seen, because I haven't seen What to Expect When You're Expecting, and I don't know if that would count either. Anyway, whatever. I am going to go Made in Manhattan, Monster-in-Law, and Shotgun Wedding.
Okay.
I might have to rewatch Monster-in-Law.
I haven't seen it in a long time. I remember it being not great. I don't think it made me as angry as The Wedding Planner.
Okay, well.
Is The Backup Plan a good movie? I've never seen that.
I've never seen it.
We've got coming up this year, at Wikipedia, it says Atlas. And that's going to star J-Lo, as she's also producing and starring in the film. And it is a science fiction thriller.
Well, that'll be fun.
I've seen J-Lo in a science fiction.
Do you remember her in The Cell? That weird,
yeah, that's more of a horror film, isn't it?
I think it's sci-fi and horror.
Oh, is it?
Together.
Oh.
I think so. I mean, look, I liked this more than I thought I would. And I feel like there are some lines that I will continue to think about for a few weeks.
Yeah. And I mean, I wouldn't not watch it again if it was just on. I wouldn't, it's possible that it's conceivable that I could watch this movie again at some point in the distant future.
I think I'd still rather watch The Wedding Planner.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
So then this complicates matters. Does Destination Wedding, or no, it's not Destination Wedding.
We did do that once, though.
We did do that once, and this is better than that. I will say 100,000%.
Yeah.
Does Shotgun Wedding pop?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a pop.
I'm gonna give it a for J-Lo completist.
Fair. I'm gonna give it a pop too.
That's everybody though.
Fair.
When the I don't know what it's called, but you know when the thing opened up and revealed an emoji face, for some reason that made me laugh really, really hard. And I know it was stupid, but like the emoji made me laugh so hard when it became the chute, like the
yes,
the parachute.
Parachute. Yeah. Thank you, God. Why couldn't I figure out the word parachute? Anyway, so when the parachute opens up and it becomes an emoji, I laughed really hard at that for some reason. And I wasn't like, I didn't even take an edible while watching this, you guys. But this is a movie that would absolutely reward edibles. Anyway, and then when like Lenny Kravitz as the bad guy gets sucked into the helicopter and him and like Darcy Carden both die, apparently. For some reason, it was like fairly comical to see that emoji get sucked into the helicopter.
Yeah, there's just so many little moments that were just funny.
And you know what's
the
really
little
great?
Pineapples.
Yes.
The little pineapples.
They're so intricate. The hotel manager just like, they're so intricate.
Oh my God, Margie was great.
The great thing about Love Conquering All is they were able to put the kidnapped by pirates and bloody, horrible murders behind them so they could have a quick wedding. And that's really beautiful. The resilience, eh?
And then do a karaoke party to Walk Like an Egyptian.
I mean,
that was the most bizarre choice of song.
Right?
Yeah.
It looked fun. Like the party looked genuinely fun. I thought actually it was just a cast party.
Was it? I thought it looked like that too.
No, but at the end they're thanking everyone for coming to their wedding or whatever. So but it looked to me like a cast party that was just like they filmed as part of we'll use this somewhere or whatever. But I really loved seeing Margie, like the hotel owner, co-owner, like get up there and just like sing her heart out. And then again, choice of song, absolutely wild. Don't understand that at all. But, and even the choice of song, for the sing-along for their nuptials, it did make me laugh. That sing-along was horrific and kind of funny.
Yeah.
They could have chosen a better. All the music choices in this movie were bizarre.
Yeah.
But also funny.
Yeah, it's no Mamma Mia, that's for sure.
Yeah. It sure isn't. I mean, at least they've got ABBA to work with.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah, I feel like we're leaving everyone kind of a lackluster sort of yeah, sure, it pops. Okay.
No, in all honesty, like I again had a better time with it than I thought it would. This is also, again, I know this is a backhanded compliment. This is definitely not the worst way we've ever kicked off wedding month.
Fair.
I can tell you that.
I think we should compile like a list of rank all the wedding movies we've seen.
Oh God. Okay. Well, let's revisit that in a couple weeks. I like the idea. I just don't want to do the work. We also like to leave this episode on something we recommend with even more gusto and oomph. AG, you want to go first?
Sure. So today we heard the sad news that Tina Turner had passed away, and it made me think of rewatching her documentary from 2021. We did it for the podcast.
Yeah.
And it was such a good documentary, and it was kind of the last appearance for her. And so it goes over her life and career, and it's really worth watching, and I'm gonna do a rewatch for sure, probably tonight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Love Tina.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My first thought was, how's Oprah? But obviously it's bad. It's hard. You lose a friend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and 83, frankly, to me, feels really young nowadays.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
I was really bummed about that.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, wanted more time with her. But I really hope that she is at rest, at peace, and feels really like she got everything she needed in the long run.
Mm-hmm. They showed a clip. Yeah. I was all kinds of great videos have been showing up on everyone's social. I mean, in my Instagram. And there was a scene from her being interviewed by Mike Wallace on 60 Minutes and showing her house in the south of France. And she's explaining to him how she had to get the way they were building the pool. She had to get it raised up a little bit because she wanted the sitting in the living room, the horizon, to meet up with the pool. And Mike Wallace says, "Do you feel like you deserve all of this?" And she goes, "More."
She does. She absolutely does. Yeah, without a doubt.
Absolutely. I completely agreed. But the two of them were just howling, laughing when she said that.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. God, sometimes the questions feel so charged, but then the answer is so perfect that you're like, well, I guess that question made space for something.
Yeah, I should say the way he asked it did have that kind of a, is this, do you feel like this is the kind of, you know what I mean?
I didn't think it was like an accusation or anything.
Do you deserve this? Yeah. No, it was the way he put it was quite lovely, actually. And then she was like, more, so
good.
Yeah.
That's a nice exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa, what about you? What do you recommend?
Yeah, so this is, as we like to say, and now for something completely different, a horror movie that I just watched called Bones and All. I don't know if anyone's heard of this movie. It's made by the same filmmaker that made Call Me By Your Name, Luca Guadagnino.
I do know. They're cannibals, right?
Yes, they're cannibals. Yes.
So the girl in that, Taylor Russell, she's from Vancouver.
Oh, she is.
She's a friend of my cousin Kimiko's.
Oh my gosh.
And I used to drive her home sometimes. She's incredible.
She is absolutely incredible. It is an incredibly intense movie, I have to say. And she is so brilliant. It's not for the faint of heart. I will just be very, very clear. But in terms of fascinating story, great characters, really a real sense of place, moodiness. I really actually quite like the fact that it's set in 1988 as well.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah. So that really does change things. The outfits, the lack of cell phones and technology is sometimes really jarring in movies to think that at one time we all lived like that. But anyway, highly recommend the movie Bones and All.
Nice.
Amazing. I'm gonna again also hard pivot to something completely different. I'm recommending a new song by Immortal. They have released this song that I really just love so much. It's called I Like What I Like, and it is all about your differences do not and cannot be invalidated. Everything that you like and that you are is important in the world. And as long as you like what you like, that's all that matters. And I love this song. It's really, really great. Immortal is a wonderful artist, and they're just continuing to release excellent singles leading up to their new album, and I can't wait.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yay.
Sounds good.
I feel like you were going to segue from cannibals to, and I like what I like. And if it's human flesh, well, there you go,
Look, this song absolutely could have found a place in that film. Yeah. I'm sure we could have worked it out. We love to work things out, and sometimes we work those things out online, and you can hang out with us online, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You could email us at popthiscollective@gmail.com. I also want to give a special shout out to a listener, Sonia, who was at Vivek Shreya's show last week in Vancouver. I was talking, I guess, probably pretty loudly, and which is something I do before the show started.
That's hard to believe.
I know, right? And so I was talking to another table of friends, and then I went and sat down at my table, and a few minutes later, this woman came over and was like, I just want you to know, I'm sorry if you thought I was staring at you. And I was like, I didn't notice at all. So like, we're cool. Like, thanks. But we're fine. And she's like, I knew your voice, and I was trying to figure out how I knew your voice. And then I realized you're Andrea from Pop This.
Oh,
and I was like,
my gosh.
Wild. Anyway, Sonia, you're a delight. Thanks for coming over and saying hello. Thank you for listening to our show. We're really happy about that. And I'm glad you had a really great time at Vivek's show. It was good.
It was a good show too.
Wonderful show. Yeah. Oh my God. Vivek's show, fantastic. Vivek's new album, her new record is so great. It's called Baby You're Projecting. And there's a whole like visual like music video sequence to come out of it as well. And she put on a hell of a show at the Fox last week in Vancouver, and I'm hoping she comes back real soon because she was great.
Excellent.
But also, hi, Sonia. Anyway.
Sonia, and thank you to Andrea Gin, who is our co-host here and the producer of Pop This. And I had my voice recognized once on the street, too, and it was pretty funny.
It's so fun.
The person was actually listening to Pop This at the time they saw me on Main Street, which is very strange. Yeah.
That's so funny.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.